So who's your favorite mukbanger? So as an influencer, is that a genre that you really want to pay attention to and focus on? Because of how long it takes you to blow on YouTube, because the platform is so saturated now, you might be posting for 2 years without getting any following. And is it really worth it to post for 2 years eating all that amount of food? Mukbangs are this, it's a Korean thing. It means just like food broadcast, where people broadcast themselves eating. Me personally, I love to watch mukbangs, especially on days where I'm eating really healthy and I'm not able to eat like a pizza or like, some of the crazy things that they eat on there, and I just want to watch other people enjoy food, and it gives me the sensation of eating that food. That's why I watch mukbangs. I'm not sure why other people watch it, but it is all the rage. Like, everybody's watching mukbangs. These mukbang videos get millions and millions and millions and millions of views. Clearly there's something about it that people love. And it's so interesting because it just shows, it's what I like to call observation videos. That's the genre that I like to call it, because people like to watch people doing regular stuff, and those videos get millions of views. There's a video about people butchering a cow. There are videos about, people just doing ordinary things, cooking, cleaning. People love watching those cleaning videos. And so I just coined the term observation videos. And I think mukbangs are at the forefront of that genre. But how do these guys do this? Aren't they afraid that they're going to die? Like, aren't they afraid for their health? Let's just talk about mukbangers, right? Before we get started, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, all of the above. It really helps push this video in the algorithm and encourages me to make more videos. So please like, follow, subscribe, all of those. If you're new here, my name is Kenim, and let's begin. I think it's so funny to me because I feel like in maybe like 100 years from now, when, they're going to look back at the internet and look at mukbangs from this era, and they're just going to assume that everyone from this era overeats, because the amount of food that these people put on these plates and the amount that they consume for these videos, it's so confusing. And most of them aren't overweight. Most of them are really thin. So it's like, or at least they're not big, so it's like, how are you able to eat all this food and stay small, right? And I'm not dogging anyone that's, wants to do mukbangs. I think they're great. Hey, you guys give me amazing entertainment and let me get to experience your lifestyle and your food. So it's very beneficial to me. But how detrimental is it to these mukbangers? And when you're talking about mukbangs and you're talking about the disadvantages of it, the main mukbanger that comes to mind is Nikocado Avocado.
Ew! Don't mind your beeswax, you fat pig. I'm skinny.
So it's really unclear what's happening with him.
Well, anyways, everyone says that my weight is spiraling out of control.
Because it is.
It's just water weight. If it wasn't water weight, could I do this?
I've watched a lot of videos online where they talk about his decline in health, because, obviously, if you don't know who Nikocado is, he was once a vegan, and he was a vegan mukbanger, and he started becoming super popular and started consuming, a lot of vegan food, which was, the vegans were just really angry about it. Because according to him, the vegan community on YouTube were very toxic, is according to him. So he started consuming all these large quantities of vegan food. Then all of a sudden he changed his mind and said, look, I'm going to I'm no longer vegan. I'm going to eat whatever I want. But we've watched the decline of his health. We've watched the decline of his mental health.
This is the Matt Stoney challenge, and the challenge for the Matt Stoney is to eat all 10,000 calories of the zombie takis in 10 minutes.
No one asked for this. People keep asking you to do the salad challenge.
No, they're not.
And we've just kind of seen, you know, the bad side of mukbanging. And it really makes me wonder because, you know, you watch it and it's very harmful to him. And he never breaks character. That's the strange thing. Because you think that he's joking. You think it's funny. And there have been videos that posted of him saying he's joking, but I found that randomly. That's buried somewhere in the internet. But when you see him, it's kind of scary.
The mouse went up the pink. When the pink goes in the stink, then I get diabetes.
It's kind of scary just knowing, like, what is gonna happen? Or much more importantly, like, what is happening? Like, we just hope that, like, he doesn't, I'm not gonna say anything negative, but we just hope that nothing bad happens to him. So that's one side of mukbangers, but not all mukbangers are the same, and not all of them eat obscene or unhealthy amounts of food. I've been quite interested in the minimalist style mukbangers. One of my favorite ones is Ben Dean. I think for him, you know, he's had his videos where he does, you know, crazy stuff like eating obscene amounts of food in 1 minute, or, you know, but these days he takes it easy. He has one plate of, you know, just a small amount of food, and then he eats it. And I think those videos are quite interesting, and it shows that, like, you don't have to eat unhealthy to be a mukbanger. There are other mukbangers who, you know, they might have this big portion of food, but they're not eating that much of it. And it's an interesting genre. And it's an interesting thing to think about. So as an influencer, is that a genre that you really want to pay attention to and focus on to grow? Because so many mukbangers have quit. I just don't think it's sustainable. I think it's unhealthy to follow that path. And I think it's not sustainable to follow that path. Because think about it, with YouTube, you have to keep creating more and more videos. You have to post every day if you really want to get attention from YouTube, right? And those mukbangers, they could easily do what they're doing without food. They could easily just sit in front of the camera and just talk to the camera, right? Without food. And they would have the same impact. Like Stephanie Sue, she makes great mukbangs. I love her mukbangs. But I can see what the mukbangs are doing to her skin. She might not gain any weight, but, like, her skin is just not what it was when she started. So it shows that whatever she's eating is just not good for her body, right? And let's also remember that there are diseases, unlike, a lot of these mukbangers, they're young, so they don't really have to worry about diabetes. But there are diseases like non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And you're not going to see the results of it today. But in the next 10, 20 years, that's when you're going to see, because of all that food you ate in your 20s, it's going to screw you up down the line. And obviously, there's no judgment. Everybody, look, live your life the way you want to live your life. But if you are an aspiring YouTuber, you know, and that's really something that you want to do, be strategic about doing mukbangs. You know, there are people that are intelligent about it, and they shoot, maybe they'll do one mukbang a week and do other videos on their channel, other food videos on their channel, right? But because of how long it takes you to blow on YouTube, because the platform is so saturated now, you might be posting for 2 years without getting any following. And is it really worth it to post for 2 years eating all that amount of food only to break in 2 years? It's just not good. It's not sustainable. So I think that people need to be careful. And I'm not deterring people away from mukbangs, because I love watching mukbangs and I love watching food videos in general. But I think that people have to be very careful when they're doing something that's detrimental to their health. And I think mukbangs can be detrimental to your health if you're not intelligent about the way you do it. And I think someone like Ben Dean, minus the videos where he's stuffing down food in his face in short periods of time, but his videos lately where he eats small amounts of foods and he posts once a week, that's a good way to go. So those are my thoughts. And then there are other creators that make interesting videos about food and they don't eat the food, right? They give you like a historic context about the food. They show you the process of the food being made, but they don't eat it. Or if they do eat it, they take one bite. And also a lot of these mukbangers, it's healthier when you cook the food yourself. If you're doing takeout, especially if you're in America and you're doing takeout in America, so there definitely are healthier ways to do mukbangs, but I just think every influencer, if that's a field that you want to get into, be strategic about it, because there's so many occupational hazards that are detrimental to your health in the long run, and you're not thinking about it because you're thinking about making money today. But hey, health is wealth. And even though you might not look obese, the real question is what's going on in your insides. Is it really worth it? Because ultimately, 100%, if you consume that type of food, it doesn't matter how thin you stay, your body is going to be affected internally. So people need to be strategic about mukbangs. And that's my 2 cents on mukbangs. This video is brought to you by Brand Video Pros Members Lab, an online course that teaches brands and influencers how to scale their influence and sales. I hope this video was helpful to you, and see you in the next one. A peace.